Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Intersection. This is a JavaScript video on conditional statements or selection statements and for loops. It also has a while and do while loop. So watch it, let me know, and have fun. Let's start. The if statement evaluates the expression in its parentheses and converts the result to a Boolean. A Boolean is a true or false, or 0 or 1. In this case, I have a variable called age. Let age to be equal 18, and then I have my first if statement. If age greater than or equal 18, then I'm going to write into within an ID if welcome to our website. And here is my code, my HTML page, and here's my div tag that I'm going to write the welcome to my website in it, and I included my JavaScript external file. So if I run my server, live server, here is welcome to our website because of this statement. What if the age is less than 18? Then we can have an else statement, and in that else statement they're not welcome to our website. So we have an else statement, and else you have to be at least 18 to join our group. Okay, so if we make this 17, in the future we will create a forum to handle the age. So if we save and then run it one more time, and you can see you have to be at least 18 to join. The JavaScript if-else if statement evaluates the content if expressions is true for several expressions. So in this case, I'm doing an example of SAT exam score. If the score, in this case 1251, it will be in this condition here. So the score between 1250 greater than or equal to 1250 and, I'm using the AND operator here, and less than or equal to 1349. So if this both true, this is true and this is true, then I should get a good score evaluation. The last condition here, the last condition to be evaluated if none of the above is true. Save, and the score, as you see, is good score because it's between the 1250 and the 1349. If I change the score to be 1500, excellent score. So that's how you code an if-else if statement. However, variables don't have to be static like this. We can ask the user to provide us with a test score, and then based on the test score that's provided, we can run this if-else statements to find out if the score was a poor or fair or good or excellent. So we can encapsulate these into a function. We can have the end user through a form to input the test score. So let's see how we do this. I encapsulate our code in a function. I called it getSatScore, and here's the beginning of the function and here's the end of the function. Now this is my variable. This variable, if it's going to come from the form, it's going to be in a text. So by default it will be a text, not a number. So I need to parse this as an int, and then accept the value from the form. So to accept the value from the form, it's going to be set to the value that inputted in a form. So let me show you. Here as I started my form, and I have a text box and a placeholder set score, and the ID, let's call this is ID, let's call it set score, and then on the click event I will call the function. I'll call this function pass it on a click event, and then the input text box ID is set score. So I will copy that and place it right here. So now we can test it. Now I'm looking at my live server. If I click get value, nothing is passed, so it's null value, so that get this poor score. Now if I pass a value in my form, let's pass 1500, we know that will be an excellent score. It's an excellent score. If I pass 1253, that will be a good score. So that's accepting values through a for and using JavaScript code and if statements. And to recap, I created a function. I called it get set score, and then in the index page I created my for. In JavaScript we can use loops. The first one that I'm going to look at is while loop, and the syntax for while is while and then the argument, and then you can have one statement or multiple statements and surround them by brackets. I did not mention that before, but if you have more than one statement, brackets are a must, whether it's an if statement or a while loop statement or for loop statement or for each loop statement. But if you have one, you can also ignore them. But it's a good idea to always have a curly brackets facing right and end curly brackets facing left and the statement in between. Let's look at an example. And here is an example of a while loop. I declared a variable index and assigned it the value 1, so the starting point is 1, and then every time I go through the loop all the way to 10, index less than 11, that's meaning 10, till index equal 10, and we're going to add 1. So let's run it, and here's the result: 1 3 5 7 9. Here's the syntax for a for loop. For, and then we have the initialization step, and then after the initialization step the testing step, and after the testing step we go through the statement or statements, multiple statement or one statement, and then the increment, and then the increment. We go through the initialization one time only, and then after that testing, statements, increment, testing until this becomes false. When it's false, we get out of the for loop statement. So let's see an example. Here's a useful example for a for loop statement. In this case I am producing a list. I am producing a navigation. So I have created a navigation, an ordered list, and now I'm going to go through the loop and go through the for loop. Using the for loop, I'm going to fill in four navigations, okay, less than 5. So let's see how this will work. Here we go, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Here is the end result: page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. All they're linked because I'm using the anchor, and then page, and then the counter is 1 2 3 4, as you see here, 1 2 3 4, because the counter starting at 1 and less than 5. And if we go into the HTML page, as you can see, I started the unordered list. I give it the ID navigation, the list items. That's why you see these bullets. Well, if this is for my website, I will cascade. I still will cascade them and make them look like navigation. So that's looping with JavaScript. Let's look at one more. Do while loop statements creates a loop that executes a block of code until a test condition evaluates to false. And this is the syntax how we create a do while loop in JavaScript. And the condition is this expression: when this is false, then the loop is done. Here's an example of a do while loop. Let's see the result, and here's our result. You can always, these videos are on YouTube, you can always stop them, freeze them, and look at the code and try to use these videos along with your textbook. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye now.